Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. Now the aftermath of this battle with the Shabbos fanatics. One thing I want to say is that actually you can just not do anything if you do not untie Viconia and just wait a while. She is actually going to burn at this stake, and there's going to be, just a slight summary, I guess, conversation after the event, and that is that. So you can just leave her to burn if you so choose. Right, now we have another plate mail from this dude, which I think in our situation is just going to be something to be sold. We have some more potions which we desperately need. I should free up some space on Senashira, I think. Anyway, as you could see in the previous episode, Aerie is just not having the best time in our party in this playthrough.
Speak.
Anyway, we are going to first resurrect her. She's going to pick up her stuff in a second. I didn't even equip her in the last episode, and in her bloodthirsty rage, she just charged at the opponents with her bare hands and just got immediately sniped. Anyway, here's the Temple of Waukeen, and who Waukeen is, I should probably have addressed that in the beginning of the playthrough when we were at Waukeen's Promenade. Basically, Waukeen is a goddess of commerce and trade, and she was also called the goddess of coin. And it's pretty cool that actually many temples in Baldur's Gate 2 have a completely unique look to them. And so these Waukeen temples, there's one here and one in Trademeet, are going to have this type of looking interior. And it's also a pretty cool thing that when it comes to these different faiths, you can actually talk with the priests and ask about what the certain deity is about and what's going on. And here we have actually a dialogue option saying that apparently the general kind of view of what's going on in this time, in this point in like the Forgotten Realms lore, is that Waukeen seems to be dead or at least missing. Yeah, he says that she is just missing, and the goddess of joy, Lyra, grants power to her worshippers in her stead for now. So some of the worshippers of Waukeen have abandoned her for other deities, but the most faithful wait patiently for her return. And that is indeed the case. In the Forgotten Realms lore, Waukeen at this time is actually basically kidnapped. She is captured by an abyssal lord, and she actually does return after like 12 years, I think, of that imprisonment. And that's actually a pretty cool story involving the time of troubles when the gods were, forced to walk the earth, and Waukeen actually willingly granted the powers that she had to Lyra in a certain scheme that she had. But anyway, also you can ask about, worshipping trade, and of course the guy is going to tell us all about the good effects of the free market. Anyway, we would like to raise Aerie again. And you know what, actually, since we're going to travel between areas and we can get ambushed, these cures are a little costly, but we have so few of these healing potions that I think I need to like spend a little gold on some of these heals just to be in a better situation. All right.
It is nice to have a woman in charge for a change. Men always steal the blankets.
And this is normally a conversation that should have triggered after resting. So giggly, Aerie, like such a cute character. You slept well then, I guess. Yeah, so she had a dream about flying again, or being able to fly. Anyway, Aerie is going to retrieve her stuff.
Quickly and precisely.
Aerie is also eligible for a level up, and I think, Kiranai, yes, she has over 160,000 experience points now in Thief, which means that she can get to level 10. So let's do that right now. Boom. All the 9 level ups at once. So she gets 2 of the weapon proficiencies, one from level 4 and the other from level 8 of Thief. Big boosts to her saving throws because she regains abilities from her inactive Kensai class. So her Thaco is greater. Her backstab is not all that great yet. And of course we get a lot of different skill points for thieving abilities. So we're going to max out Find Traps. We're going to max out Open Locks. So that the usual utility now is taken care of. And we're going to max out Detect Illusion. So this is exactly what Jan can provide for us right now, but we're going to get rid of Jan at a soon point. And then the next points we could go either for stealth or for traps, and I am going to go for stealth. She's going to for now rely on invisibility to do some backstabs, but later on I would like her to have a reasonable stealth skill so that she could just keep re-stealthing at will, basically without any needed resources. And also now we have these 2 proficiency points which we can now add to what we've had as a Kensai. So we can get grandmastery and daggers now. And I think I'm going to go with the second point of 2 weapon style. So whenever she gets into melee, she can actually dual wield some scimitars at a very nice level as well, with having the mastery in them right now. And the next 2 proficiency points are going to go into maxing out scimitars. So soon enough she's also going to have grandmastery in scimitars, wakizashis and ninjatos, and she's going to be like really skillful in both melee and ranged combat. So now of course her Thaco with thrown daggers and her damage now we're finally better back to what we were used to. Finally she is a Kensai with like some really good ability now. 3.5 attacks with thrown daggers. Very nice, very nice. Eri leveled up very much in Cleric and Mage. Oh, I think I did not even level her up at all since we recruited her, I think. Yeah, that must have been the case. It doesn't really matter what we give her here. I guess maybe sword and shield style, if she goes into melee with a small shield, would give her a little bonus to armor class against ranged weapons. But if she has a sling equipped, that doesn't work. Like these weapon styles don't work with ranged weapons. By the way, oh yeah. So she has some additional spell slots, which I'm not going to take care of right now. We're going to do that before resting, because now it doesn't really matter on what we select for her. Now, I have a pretty elaborate plan of what I want to do here now. We are going to travel to the Bridge District now, because I would like to... I want to get a little bit more serious now, and I want to get to the point, or slowly start getting to the point of having those core 5 party members, and I'm going to let the time pass because this is also part of my plan. So instead of having the game paused, I'm going to have the time running while I explain some things. So basically I want to get a little closer to the core 5-man party that I have. If you remember from the introductory episode to the Baldur's Gate 2 portion of the playthrough, in Shadows of Amn in chapters 2 and 3 I'm going to have like a core 5-man party, with the 6th slot always being occupied by an NPC involved in the content that we're about to do. So for example, Nalia, we're going to have her for the Daernese Keep, and a little bit after that, but then we're going to switch her for example, Valigar to do the Planner Sphere, and so on. But anyway, from the core 5-man party, of course, our chosen cleric is not going to be Eri, and I would like to get that cleric very soon. But with Eri, we still have one thing to do. I would like to explore the Bridge District, and she has some she has some interjections in what I want to showcase there. And in general, the Bridge District is a kind of a nice place to go to now, because there are some really lesser known things that I would like to show in the Bridge District. And there's also a quest line, which I think while we're there we're going to do, and there is also a certain merchant that I want to visit to finally get that potion case. Anyway, now we actually are in danger of getting ambushed, I think. by some guys. These are bullets +2. These are too good for you, Ari. Ari might actually get some wands. Because, like, there's a certain ambush that I think might happen right now, and we need to be prepared for that. So actually, what we can do, just to be extra sure that nothing wrong is going to happen, I'm going to pre-buff a little bit indoors, so that the Cowled Wizards don't pester us. Actually, we can use some of these smaller potions. Let's get like 2 to Senashira for now.
Yes.
And these buffs are not going to be wasted even if we don't get ambushed, even if we do not get waylaid by enemies. These buffs are not going to be wasted because in the bridge district there is also a little fight that's going to happen. So even if we don't get ambushed, these buffs are going to serve us well in that little encounter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a mirror image scroll and buff up Senashira with it. And
what can I do?
Yeah, what can we do? What can you do, Ari? So that we don't waste your spells. You know, you have this blur, just buff up with it. It might help you a little bit. And you know what? We might even use this chant. This chant might expire before we get to that fight in the bridge district, but this is going to be something that we can have in case the ambush happens. Alright, so now we have some buffs. I am not buffing up protectively Eri or Jan because we don't really care all that much about these characters. I just want to really, you know, make sure that Senashira is fine. And just our core characters. Alright, so let's go to the bridge district now. And we do get waylaid by enemies. And I think this ambush is pretty nasty because there's a mage now with some pretty extensive pre-buffs now. Improved invisibility and minor globe. So that means we need to use spells of level 4 or higher to get through that. And Stone Skin, of course, they also have a cleric. And I think this ambush has like 2 backstabbing bandits and 1 fighter guy. I think this is the cleric then. The mage went invisible. And the 2 backstabbing thieves start out invisible, I think. Okay, so actually, I think I'm going to pass over this wand to Eri. And Eri is going to go full-on offensively here. We need a target for this. So I'm going to reposition Eri a little bit here so she can cast this wand's Cone of Cold in this area and get like at least 2 of them in that Cone of Cold and basically damage the mage a little bit because this is a level 5 spell. So it's going to go through Minor Globe. Yeah, and actually we didn't inspect your spells. I should have pre-buffed you. Oh, you have Stone Skin. Anyway, we can cast arcane spells in these ambush sites actually because they are temporary maps and Cowled Wizards like don't spawn here, and I guess the RP justification might be that, I don't know, in these like alleyways, these dark like occupied by bandits alleyways, maybe the Cowled Wizards don't track the usage of magic all that well.
What is it? Anyway,
Senashira in this case I think is going to reposition a little bit to the side and maybe unleash some lightning bolts. Minsk, I think, because we have this Cone of Cold that we want to unleash, I think Minsk is going to keep fighting this guy for now, and I think Jaheira is going to drink this potion of giant strength now. Alright, so she has it and attack this guy. Alright, Eri, you might now target this guy with your Cone of Cold. Jan is protected from some backstabs. Oh yeah, you can start throwing your daggers at the mage. And you can probably unleash some of these lightning bolts. No, you can't do it too quickly. I think I'm just going to get this guy out of the way, and perhaps the lightning bolts are going to be able to damage someone else. They are not going to do anything against the mage because lightning bolt is a level 3 spell, so Minor Globe protects her from that. Alright, let's actually Jaheira wait up a little bit, wait for these lightning bolts. Let's see what happens here. Jan actually can use his flashers. Perhaps he will be able to stun some dudes. And yeah, let's see what happens. Alright, so we damaged some bandits and Minsk with those lightning bolts. The mage did manage to cast slow, which got 3 of our prominent characters here, which is very unfortunate. Eri, it doesn't matter on her. Unfortunately, Kiranai, it seems like she was able to save versus spell. And we damaged this bandit with the Cone of Cold a little bit. And apparently interrupted his spell, so the cleric is out of not being a threat for at least the next couple of seconds. This guy is near death, so let's try to finish him off. Actually, Minsk can now approach the mage. Let's try to add Minsk's damage to the mage. And Jaheira and Senashira might be able to finish off this bandit. And the cleric we might get soon. Actually, maybe let's try to shoot the cleric with Jan's flashers, and maybe he's going to get stunned. And Eri needs to reposition. Okay, this guy is dealt with. The backstabbing... Okay, the first backstabbing bandit revealed himself, and I think missed his backstab on Eri, so this is pretty cool. And just keep running slowly. We really need to get rid of this mage. I think everyone is going to attack her. And we're going to probably pass this wand over to Senashira so she can unleash a Cone of Cold once her next round starts. On this guy, double charm person Kiranai, and unfortunately it worked, so we just lost our best damage dealing person. Which is pretty unfortunate. I think now Senashira might be able to do this Cone of Cold. The cleric is casting again. We need to interrupt that if we can. Maybe this Melf's Acid Arrow is going to do the trick. Well, we'll see about that. Probably she can't cast right now, because slow also makes your turns slower, I believe. Just like haste makes your turn basically a 3-second one. And slow actually slows you down. Okay, Minsk is held, so another prominent damage dealer is now held as well. This is not good. Eri still hasn't cast anything. Alright, so that Cone of Cold was absorbed by her last mirror image. So now she's without mirror images, she only has Stone Skin now. Eri is getting damaged by these bandits. I think we need to... Okay, the potions of invisibility, because I wanted to make her invisible. Potions of invisibility are kept by Kiranai, which is out of our control right now. So we probably just need to resort to just giving her a healing potion and see if that does anything. But yeah, she's going to be really slow using any of this. Alright, Jan's spell capabilities need to be used. Oh yeah, you have Magic Missile and you're not slowed. And you have Stone Skin. Okay, interrupted that cleric spell. So for now, for the next couple of seconds we are good. And we might actually try to finish him off with that Melf's Acid Arrow. Alright, Eri healed, keep running. And then this Jaheira basically needs to take care of this bandit mage. But Jaheira is slowed, and so is Senashira. I think we might even get Senashira to cast another Cone of Cold on her. Yeah, keep running. And Jan, cast that spell whenever you can. The cleric unfortunately healed with a good potion, and now he's just only barely injured. But perhaps the ticking acid arrow damage might do something. You don't have bullets, my dear, for your sling, but you're probably going to be more useful trying to... Oh yeah, you have that slow, cast that on these guys pestering Jan. Jan, maybe you can do a shot on the mage. Oh cool, the Cone of Cold destroyed the mage. Sweet. Now I think we are mostly in the clear. Now we should focus on that cleric. And hopefully that slow is coming soon from Eri. Come on, a quick shot from the crossbow, Jan. Not gonna happen. Alright, the guys are slowed though. The cleric got slowed, and I think this bandit got slowed. This thief. and the cleric's spell got interrupted by this ticking acid damage from the acid arrow. So everything is going very fine right now. I think he is even stunned now by the flasher, so very nice. Let's try to stun this guy, who I think is not slowed. He is the biggest danger, I guess, right now. Can you do anything productive, Senashira? I think you can, if you reposition over here. Look at this, like... Okay, this one is not slowed, this one is slowed. So... But this one is near death, so... Actually, let's do something like this. And let's use some Agonizar's Scorcher. Boom. The cleric was about to cast something. Do we have a melee weapon for you, Jan? So you don't give the attacker the bonus. We could give you... What could we give you? Everything is in possession of someone else. Oh, okay. Kiranai is back with us. Could give you this sword, Jan. Alright, now we're in the clear. Alright, cool. That went pretty well, actually.
This will not take long.
That was very nice. We got a potion of invulnerability. Very nice. Now actually Kiranai is going to be able to use some potions of invulnerability to increase her armor class. We get some scrolls. I think we lost some loot because of the Cone of Cold. Oh no, I think we didn't. She only has 3 scrolls. There are also mages that have 6 scrolls, and I think this is the 3 scroll mage because she has the better scrolls. She has the minor spell deflection and she has Oracle. Very useful spells. Can't really learn right now because Senashira's intelligence is not up to par. Okay, now we have 9 potions of invisibility. Now Kiranai is going to be able to make nice use out of them.
Yes? What is it?
For some backstabbing purposes. And of course they are always nice to have to just get out of trouble. So that's very nice. Very, very nice. We can give this to Minsk so he can regen. What's our time? Okay, it's 9 PM. So this is actually pretty good once we get going here in the Bridge District.
Greetings, citizens. I trust you'll be keeping your weapons at your sides.
Yeah, I'm sure there are more important things than me for you to worry about. Because apparently there are some troubles, and he is pretty aggressively... Well, his initial line is maybe a little threatening. So here we are approached by Lieutenant Aegisfield, I guess. Or Aegisfield. Or Aegisfield, whatever the pronunciation you want to go with. Anyway, apparently he's going to inform us that there has been a string of murders recently, performed in a pretty sick manner, because the victims of these murders are apparently being flayed alive. So of course, as always, feel free to pause and read the whole conversation for yourself in detail.
There's a disgustingly sick person out there, and I simply don't have the manpower to protect everyone.
Yeah, he's been killing paupers, sometimes in the alley where they sleep. And why would someone prey on the poor? Yeah, they have nothing to take. He kills them, and that is all. Yeah, he flays them alive. So, a little Faraji, a local urchin, found the latest victim. I hate to think of a child seeing that. Yeah, that's awful. We have some comments from our party members, but, you know, enough of this. He has to go back to his rounds. But he's going to provide us with some clues. He's going to mention Old Rampa, that was apparently damn near killed, and a street woman in the area, Rose, was plain lucky. So we have some names to investigate, and that's basically the primary quest chain in the Bridge District, is investigating the murders. Here we're going to have a conversation, not about the murders exactly, but about the guild war between the Shadow Thieves and that new kind of new guild that appeared, and these ones apparently are killed Shadow Thieves in one of the guild war skirmishes that happened. And those are basically like different merchants talking. So of course I'm not clicking through too quickly so that you can pause and read everything in more detail. Yeah, so guild wars mean trouble. Okay, so here comes the mugger. This is the other encounter that I mentioned, and unfortunately we kind of ran out of buffs. I should have pre-buffed before leaving that temporary ambush area. Jan still has his stone skin. Here we can't really... Well, I don't want to cast arcane spells because cowled wizards here do track arcane spells cast pretty well.
I am ready.
So we'll just have to make do.
I would have done.
You will suffer.
So of course he wants all of our money. We are not going to go with his request, and he has like 3 invisible backstabbing buddies with him, which is pretty dangerous for the likes of Senashira. But yeah, let's just go with it. And okay, actually, whoa! 3 of them got stunned by the flashers. Jan, my man, you are just amazing. Thank you for that. Unfortunately, they are stunned while being invisible, but at least they are not immediately like an immediate threat. They want to go after Eri. Okay, let's risk it. Okay, the backstab. Wow, triple damage, and he did 4. That must have been like the most minimal roll
Yes?
he could have gotten.
Faster than Chick-Tika fast paws.
Okay, and now we're going to use our new Detect Illusion, Kiranai. And apparently it was not fast enough. I believe you can detect... you can certainly detect characters in stealth with it.
Speak.
But it basically starts... it ticks once per round, and sometimes, you know, if you're unlucky, it can take 6 seconds for the tick to happen. Sometimes it happens very quickly.
What is it? Searching.
Oh, I just clicked quickly. There was a little cutscene showcasing that, you know, the nightfall came.
Speak.
And now this is nighttime in the game, so we are close to an inn. And hopefully there's not going to be an event spawning on the way, because it's not a big deal, especially in Chapter 2. Where we didn't really commit to any of the, you know, you didn't make any like hard alliances with anyone yet, but I would like to participate in these events, and the way we are set up now in our party, we have no way really in like engaging in these events. Here's old Rampa. I'm going to talk to him later. I just want to get straight to the inn and rest. Kills Rose and a certain merchant that we're going to talk to. Okay, seems like we were fortunate and didn't trigger any of these events spawning. Because yeah, I want to take part in them, I want to participate, and right now we just don't have the means to do that.
Yes?
What's your... yeah, we're far away from level 10 in Mage. Anyway, here we have the 5 Flagons Inn. This is a pretty important inn in a couple of quests. However, when it comes to most of the patrons here with special names like Bell here, or I think these 2 guys, they basically have something more unique to say when you have Mazzy in your party, because this is an inn run by Samuel Thunderburp, a halfling. It's kind of like a little bit of a halfling place. Here's Thalia Thunderburp. She has a pretty funny line.
Oh, it's a fine day for meeting new friends. Oh, it's a fine day for meeting new friends. May you know the happiness of a warm heart.
She actually has a different, like, Minsk line, but she also has something like "Get fresh with me, and Samuel will kick your butt." Anyway, this is a pretty interesting name here, Rothgar, but with an apostrophe there, H. Rothgar, and Rothgar, of course, without the apostrophe, is a guy from East Haven in Icewind Dale. Yeah, they basically are going to have some kind of generic responses unless you have Mazzy. Lord Sturk, however, is going to mention the theater downstairs, which is an important thing that we're going to visit in a second. And also Samuel Thunderburp is a pretty likable fellow. And basically the claim to fame of this here inn... by the way, upstairs we're going to... See, this is the problem. Like, I have like 10 things I want to say all at once. And I start talking about one thing and my thoughts are already ahead. let's finish the thing about Samuel. So the claim to fame of the Five Flagons Inn is that apparently they have the widest selection of different drinks.
Hello, me good smiling friends.
Yeah, like every beverage in Faerun available for your appreciation. Yeah, so he says that might not have all on the shelf, but you know, he basically has everything in the cellar. So yeah, we can rest here. And I think we're going to do that in a second. Yeah, the selection doesn't seem to be all that great. As Thalia said, you know, they're pretty much out of almost everything. I think on one of the tables there's 15 gold. Or a bigger amount than 1. I think it was 8 in our case here. Yeah, because the other ones just have 1 gold. Okay, but anyway, in his voiced lines, Samuel is also going to tell us about the theater.
I have a beverage of every flavour available for your perusal at the Five Flagons. Yes, indeedy I do.
Yes, indeedy I do.
There's a theatre downstairs if you like, but don't forget a mug of spiced wine before you go. At the Five Flagons, tickling your palate is our pleasure.
Quickly and precisely.
Pretty fun dude. Also, he actually can give you a certain item if you have a particular party member. If we have Herr Delis, he's going to give us a diamond, and if we have Mazzy, he's going to give us a certain pair of boots. Also, when it comes to the upstairs area, we're going to explore that once a certain quest brings us up there. So I'm not going to waste time on that right now, but we are going to go downstairs and see this theater, because apparently there's a play happening tonight, and well, I guess we're going to check that out in the next episode. So yeah, we have so much to accomplish. I have so many plans for the Bridge District and for the next, like, quite a bit of our future adventures are kind of planned out. There's much to accomplish, and we're going to get to that in the next episode. So thank you for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.